chasing the rabbit so you don't have to. Here they are, Mark and Don, the two crazy guys.
And good afternoon to you. Welcome aboard KYAH 540 AM, Utah's Talk Authority. This is the Two Crazy Guys. My name is Donald Lowry, a.k.a. Big D. And on the other side of the spectrum over there, we have Prepper Guy, a.k.a. Mark Boyle, the other crazy one. How you doing this week, bud?
I'm still crazy, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know, we're just lunatic flying bats, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, big story popped this week. Sarah Sanders has announced that she is stepping down from her position as press secretary there at the White House. And she plans to go back home, I guess, return to her family. But, you know, it's kind of funny because I think Trump might have let the cat out of the bag. I don't know. He said, I hope she goes back and runs for governor. So
that'd be great.
Well, you know, that may be what's going on. I mean, the governor's seat doesn't open there until 2022, but that he may have let the cat out of the bag. We don't know, but Sarah Sanders will be dearly missed. She was definitely a Trumper, if you will,
Yep.
a supporter, solid, rock solid individual, man, and she is definitely going to be missed.
Yeah. Wasn't her dad a governor too? Mike Huckabee?
Yeah, Huckabee.
He was a governor at one time.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great. That'd be good for her. She never capitulated. She just pushed it all right back at him.
Yeah,
and,
man.
Being a press secretary, you can't really capitulate, but she just had a way about her.
She did, man. She didn't take nothing, you know, and even the ones that she got, you know, bitter political odds with, even wished her well. So
yeah, them vipers down there, they always pat you on the back and say good job, but
I know,
I wouldn't trust anybody in Washington.
I know. It's just like, you know,
Ever.
just like when somebody passes away, you know, they couldn't wait. They called him I won't use the wording, but they called him names and all this other stuff his whole life. And then at the burial, he was such a great man.
Oh,
He was such an honorable individual.
it's like, yeah. There's no. How did Doc Holliday put that in Tombstone? He goes, apparently my hypocrisy has no bounds.
Yeah. Well, you know, Doc was a cheater.
Yeah.
That's why he was so fast, because he always had a gun behind his back too.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't stupid.
Yeah. He didn't. But see, the thing is, he didn't have anything to lose because he was sick.
Yeah.
He was dying anyway.
And you know, one of the historians in Sierra Vista was telling me that he was not a nice guy.
No.
You know, the movie, at least the one with Val Kilmer, made him out to seem, you know, kind of an okay guy you wouldn't mind having a drink with. Now, he'd rather shoot people or kill them than deal with them.
Yeah, Doc Holliday was a mean man, and you know, forget about, you know, what they try to tell you, but Wyatt Earp wasn't exactly the purest of the pure either.
No, they tracked him for quite a while and wanted him for murder and stuff,
Yeah.
but you know, he finally went to trial and nothing happened. Just like
Yeah.
what'll happen with Trump when they finally get their little magic wish. You know.
Well, it ain't gonna happen.
No, God no. And we know that. I think everyone knows it. It's just, I guess it's become like filler. You
That's
know.
all it is, Mark.
You know, they run out of anything important to tell us, we the people, and they just, you know, throw out the impeachment.
Yeah.
I posted a really good article I read by it wasn't actually, I found it in the 10th Amendment Center's website, but it was written by Epoch News or something like that on the Electoral College.
Uh-huh.
Really good. I posted that on Prepper Guy's group.
Yeah.
I had really good article,
Yeah.
worth the read and stuff. So, and then that video you sent, or that article about our sheriff Mark Daniels.
Yeah, man. Solid guy.
Yeah, and I didn't, you know, well, of course, if you watch the news, you're never going to see what he's actually doing because
Yeah,
he's solving a problem. So they're going to ignore that.
right.
But what a great concept. It was just arrest him and prosecute him.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
He's a solid guy, and his predecessor was a solid guy too,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. We're lucky to have, good sheriffs here. And, and maybe it's that rancher cowboy spirit, kind of harkens back to the Texas Rangers and stuff. It's just like, they're breaking the law, arrest them, prosecute them, throw them in
Yeah.
prison.
See, Larry Devers, man, he was a hardcore dude.
Yeah.
He was a hardcore dude, man.
Yeah.
He was out there. He was out there running them down all the time.
Yeah. And, he was probably closer to a constitutional sheriff than maybe Daniels, but
I don't know.
that's probably why they took him out. But both of them, get real high marks from, the constitutional sheriffs and police officers or peacekeepers association.
Well, what gets me is we had that big fire here, and Larry Devers was the only one that come out, had the guts to call it what it was, which was a distraction fire set by illegals.
Right.
And not long after that, the man ended up dead.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
I don't know. Call it what you want. There's books out there. Do your research.
yeah.
But I just find it coincidental, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Because most of his family, when you talk to them and stuff, he wasn't a drinker that much. He wasn't drinking and driving. He was a sheriff, and he upheld the law. He didn't drink and drive.
Right.
I mean, not that he might not have had beer in his car. He was going to a camping trip, but that doesn't mean he was pounding him back while he was driving.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It was sad,
Yeah.
You look at the politics in this state, and even though we're all pretty solid red, you got what they did to Ev Meekum, Barry Goldwater, Devers.
Yeah.
It's just Joe Arpaio. I guess we have a big red target on our back by all these liberals in the media because we actually, are conservative, and a lot of states are, but not that many are hardcore.
The other big thing, the polls. The polls once again are telling us that Joe Biden is in a solid lead over Donald Trump in 2020.
Oh, well, shit.
Wait a minute. The guy can't even bring 200 people into a campaign event, but he's going to beat Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and obviously the polls aren't, talking to Sanders supporters, because I think he's got more support, even though he's batshit crazy, than Biden will ever have.
Well, the polls, these were the same polls that told us Donald Trump could never be president.
Right. Right up until he was. I mean, election night, they were saying, this is looking bad. The exit polling is showing that this is going to be bad for Trump. So, and then the media wonders why their viewership is dropping and going south like a duck in the winter. They just don't get it.
Well, see, the whole thing was to create confusion to piss off the masses.
Right. And it did. And we all went out and voted for Trump.
And we're still in there. They're still trying to get rid of him, and they're never going to do it. So,
no, he'll get his second term because, if you remove the bullshit, Russia impeachment thing, like him or hate him, he's moving along. He's getting stuff done, and most sane Americans are like, "Hey, it's fine. It could be Reagan. It could be Bill Clinton. Just keep us moving in a good, positive direction."
yeah.
And so all this other stuff is just smoke and mirrors.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a distraction to keep them from being investigated.
Right. And the economy is so bad that I hear my buddy Don got himself a really sweet ramp truck.
Oh my goodness, that thing is sweet to the bone, baby. Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
I could have got the 350, but I went with the 250. I had the 350 before, and that was just way too much truck for me. Now, this has the largest towing capacity in the 2500 class with the 373 rear end. You can get them, the 410s usually come in the 350 class, but you can special order them in the 250s. But if you're going to spend that kind of money, you might as well just get a 350. So I'm good at where I'm at. It's the Dodge Ram Laramie edition, so it's got all the bells and whistles in it, and it'll tow like the dickens.
It's not called a Dodge anymore. It's just called a Ram.
That's right.
Which is kind of a shame because I always liked the Dodge Power Wagon, the Dodge,
Well, they brought the Power Wagon back, right?
Yeah, that's
not
a nice.
The same as it. It's not the same Power Wagon that you and I remember from back in the 70s.
No, it's not the old beast I had bought off of a Forest Service auction. It was just a monster truck.
Yeah, man.
Before there was monster trucks,
yeah,
this thing had big 19.5 rims on it. It was huge.
Yeah.
It was a one-ton. But
yeah. Well, this thing, this they call them 2500s. They're 250s. This thing is a beast, man. It is a beast, man. So it'll tow anything that I ever need to tow. So
you don't tow any, like, do you guys got an RV or a
toy
hauler or anything?
We had what we had was we had a 40-foot Class A, and we got rid of that. And I'm gonna get a fifth wheel. I like the fifth wheels for various reasons. And so we're going to eventually end up getting a fifth wheel. So that's why I got the truck. But who knows? It never put it past me to go out and get a big Tex and go do some hot shotting. You never know.
Hey, you got to have a truck. I don't care what you do for a living. Now, you've seen that Tesla has a prototype truck that's all got 2 drive motors, and it can tow 100,000 pounds. Well, because it's electric, it's like a locomotive train, really.
Yeah.
But they still, talk. But I always wondered why they don't put that technology in a truck, because it can handle the weight of the batteries and the generators and all that.
The 2019 Rams, the 3500s, are rated up over 30,000 pounds.
Holy crap!
Now my truck is rated at 17.1.
Right.
Which is still a lot of stinking weight for a truck.
Yeah, you get that much weight behind you in a truck, it's kind of freaky anyway. I would definitely go with the fifth wheel because there's more.
Yeah.
You just feel like you're not being shoved around corners and stuff.
Exactly. Yep. Hey, listen, we got to push off to a break, folks. We'll be back with more right after this, so don't go away.
This is Contra Radio Network, internet radio for the discerning prepper and patriot.
Black Metal Firearms are a couple guys I know personally and friends of mine that put together some great accessories for all your firearms needs. Everything that I've seen them do is just top-notch and very nice looking. BlackMetalFirearms.com. Check them out. I think you'll be glad you did. Go to Facebook, Black Metal Firearms. They got a great page there too. Learn more about the workmanship and the craftsmanship they put into every accessory and every build they do.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Talking the issues and taking the hit. Here they are, the two crazy guys.
Welcome back to this edition or this segment of today's program. We are broadcasting on KYAH 540 AM, Utah's Talk Authority. And there's, Mark and I were talking in the first section of the program a little bit about Sarah Sanders leaving, and we talked a little bit about, we got off down into a rabbit hole about trucks and that kind of thing, which kind of continued on through the break. But yeah, there's just, when you look around and you see the economy is doing well, you see that, jobs are abound, and things are just looking really good in the country right now. And the Democrats are working really, really hard to stop that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because most Americans are like, yeah, I don't really hear you over there, liberals, because I'm at the boat dealership buying a new boat or buying a new truck or buying an RV.
Right.
It's so out of left field when you hear them talking. You would think that, there's probably problems in the economy, but there's been problems in the economy since we became a nation.
Right.
But how can you hear all these politicians saying how bad Trump's doing when all I see is sunshine?
Yeah, me too, man.
They're talking about a rain and a silver lining behind the cloud of impeachment. It's like, I don't see any clouds. Everything is awesome.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, everything's looking good. The country's looking up. Mexico, Trump announced the tariff deal. Boy, that sent the liberals into a tailspin. And hours.
Yeah.
It was hours afterwards. There was a delegation up into the United States, and they say they're going to do something. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But just the other day we had the Sinaloa cartel right here. We're talking just right down the other side of the border here, and it spread from Agua Prieta down through Naco, down through Nogales. There was a big shootout down there, and so far 12 people have been killed. But
a friend of mine posted a video on Facebook, and then they took that down because it was offensive.
Oh yeah,
or scary. But he sent me a video that's just, it was kind of funny because there's all this gunfire in the background. You can't really see what's going on, and here comes a guy on his bicycle, riding around the corner. It's like, to them, this is the way of life.
Yeah,
they're shooting 2 blocks over. I still got to go to the store and get some beer.
Yeah. No, it's true.
But yeah, it has gotten closer, and I think Trump is a genius by taking it, putting the ball in their court. It's like, okay, we can't do anything without being called all these horrible names. So if you can't stop them from coming across your border, we're going to start charging you tariffs. And boy, what a swift reaction.
Yeah, man.
Because you got to remember where, Mexico's bread is buttered.
Right.
And they're not stupid. They might all be a bunch of corrupt assholes, but they're not stupid.
Right.
I don't know if we could say that word, but I guess.
Too late. Said it.
You can beep it out.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll leave it go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, they no matter what he does, no matter what it is, and no matter how much good news is in it, the Democrats, they just can't bring themselves to say, hey, man, good job.
Oh, yeah. If Trump and his, golden touch cured cancer, the Democrats would be complaining that he's messing with pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, well, Joe Biden said that he was going to cure cancer.
Oh, him and his buddy Al Gore that invented the internet?
The internet inventors and the global warming inventors.
Yeah, talk about an invention. Global warming. Statistically, thank God our climate has warmed, or we would be in an ice age. I don't think most people understand that, but not just recorded history, but, recorded in the rocks and the glaciers of the earth.
Right.
We would be in an ice age right now if it weren't for the fact that we became agricultural and started burning trees and stuff.
Your phone's calling me.
It is?
My phone called you. That was me on the line, folks.
That was so weird. How did that happen? You know,
technical glitches, folks. Technical glitches. We'll move on, though.
that scares me. Maybe your neighbors down the road, the FBI, or got their wires crossed and dicked something up.
So anyway, yeah, you know, I guess I saw a meme yesterday or today, whenever it was. Nancy or Ocasio-Cortez says that she refuses to type in caps anymore.
Why?
Find it to protest global
racist?
warming.
Oh, so no more capital letters?
Yeah,
Save a little bit of ink.
yeah,
She's a nut.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure she was a great bartender, waitress, but she is so out of her league. You know, when it comes to actually using her brain, that is.
Oh, I know, man. They all are, though.
Right.
I mean, you got Nancy the drunk, you got Chuckles the idiot, you got
Chuckles.
you know, you got Ocasio-Cortez. She's recapping on some kind of brain dead tumor or something. I don't know what her deal is, but
Yeah. Well,
brain dead, man.
thank God, you know, most thinking Americans don't really buy into it. I think a lot of the Democrats that even elect him is just more of a party line issue and not of an idea issue.
Yeah,
You know, they want to put up their bulwark against Trump because for some stupid reason they don't like the guy.
Because they feel, I think in their heart of hearts, they believe that he stole the election from Hillary Clinton, who it was her time to be the president. Remember, she was supposed to be the president when Barack Obama came out of the woodworks and took it from her.
Right.
And
And rather than be mad at him, who literally stole it from her,
yeah,
because they were in the same party,
yeah,
you know, she saved all that angst and anger for Donald Trump, who did nothing but she lost the election.
yeah.
You know, it was a bad campaign. It was poorly run, and it was full of, you know, hot air and no ideas. She lost. You know, there was no grand
But see,
conspiracy.
they can't accept that she lost on her own. They've got to blame it on someone else.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you compare her to Bill, you know, who won pretty handedly, you know, both elections, he was a likable guy. You know, he'd tell dirty jokes on the cuff and the media would laugh. And, you know, I had an El Camino and it had turf in the back. And, you know what that's for. And,
Yeah.
you know, he was the guy that you could sit down and have a beer with. Hillary and her lecturing mentality.
She's just a mean woman.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sit and talk to her if she, you know, she's a librarian. It's just shut up, woman. Where
Yeah.
Bill at least had charisma. He had character. He had, you know, I mean, if you're just going to just put him as person to person, you know, ideas, you know, Bill had some bad ideas too, but you just all around in your office. Good thing we don't do videos anymore. People.
Yeah, I know, man. Jeez. Trying to find that comfort zone, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you need to get one of these lazy boys, man. I'm telling you, they're comfortable as hell.
Well, I have one out there.
Oh, you need one in
I have
there.
I have a miniature one in here. That's okay, but it's getting to be time to get another chair pretty soon. So,
Yeah. Well, they got these at the office store.
Yeah.
Really comfortable.
yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I got it. Looks nice and it's comfy for my lazy rear end. So, you know, we talked a little bit at the end of last week's show,
Yeah.
and I put out a kind of a podcast just saying I think I got an idea what we can do to hopefully save the republic. And
So-
you know, I hadn't put the outline together yet. I was going to try to get a hold of John Jefferson, pick his brain because he used to be a sheriff and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking what it is without creating a big, stupid grassroots movement is just, you know, like a 3 or a 5 or a 10-point way to win some battles, you know, and it may seem a little seedy or shaky, but, you know, find something, a cause like, I'm building onto my house. So if I wanted to, I could kick the hornet's nest and get them involved, and the city would come along and go, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Now, if I had already pre-discussed this with, Sheriff Daniels, and he had local deputies that handle, property rights issues in the city, and different, like even Sierra Vista and stuff, to where I could call and say, okay, I got this guy that's threatening to call the police. This is private property, and he could send over one of his guys that's not a moron. And then, maybe some social media, because you're never going to get the media on your side. But I think if the city got, slapped down, I would imagine even the local radio station who can't stand the city would discuss it.
Sure.
And then you literally, bait the hook. The city shows up and does what they do because they just follow the book, step by step. And then in comes the sheriff, totally out of the blue, and says, you can't do that. This is private property. If you come back on his property, I'm going to arrest you for harassment. And then the media starts talking about it. Well, all of a sudden, you have a victory.
Right.
It's not, earth shaking, but think of if, what happened to Lavoy Finnegan, in Oregon. If the sheriff would have not been hiding under his desk, and he would have been a constitutional sheriff.
Right.
And Oath Keepers would have showed up, and the media would have showed up, and the sheriffs would have made the FBI literally stand down or get arrested. That would have been a massive victory that everyone in the country would have seen it and went, oh, wait a minute. They're not trespassing. They're not Al-Qaeda terrorists. And it's the Forest Service that has no right to be in the state taking state land.
Right.
See, now you start chipping away at them, because what we're doing as patriots is just, doing something, and then the feds come along and play whack-a-mole, and you have no support. So they smash you here, smash you there, smash you there. And we need to flip the game on them to where people could, just get a hold of their local politicians, their local sheriff, and do these things. So it's not like, Oath Keepers, let's all go protest. It's just like, you decide to do something to really trigger the city of Sierra Vista, but you got the politicians, everyone's waiting for this to happen.
Right.
And then when it happens, it's checkmate for the city, and you win, and they have to go home with their tail between their legs.
And we have to cut to a break here too, buddy.
Then you'll have to give me your food for thought on this for segment 3.
Copy that. We'll be back after this. Don't go away.
Hi, this is John Jeffers, inviting you to listen to my show, The Jeffers Brief. On The Jeffers Brief, we discuss topics of interest and concerns for preppers and patriots. And you can only find us on the Contra Radio Network on podbean.com or KYAH 540 AM, Utah's Talk Authority. Hope you join me, and we'll talk to you then.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
This is Contra Radio Network, internet radio for the discerning prepper and patriot.
Talking the issues and taking the hit. Here they are, the two crazy guys.
Alrighty, so quick how time flies when you're having fun. So before the break, Mark was on a rant talking about, the sheriff and his role. And yes, I agree wholeheartedly. The sheriff's duty is that of the peacekeeper.
Right.
And the sheriff's duty is to uphold the law and the rules and the regulations. And he is the elected official. He is the elected authority. In the county.
Yeah.
And he has jurisdiction. Basically, he has jurisdiction anywhere in the county.
Right.
And the sheriff and the sheriff's department, the posse. I like that word. I like that word better.
It does sound more nostalgic.
That's what Arpaio called him, the posse. My posse.
Well, and in spite of the fact that, they call the sheriff the chief law enforcement officer in a county, and the Supreme Court has held that no federal agency can call into service the sheriff's department.
Right.
So basically it's like hands off. Well, they can't really call into service any state worker. So, but the sheriff's real job is to not just keep the peace, but enforce constitutional laws.
Right.
Which is protecting my rights.
Exactly.
From planning and zoning, overreach of the police department, anything where I'm being, harassed or unjustly treated. The sheriff should step in, arrest the chief of police, like what happened in Baltimore.
Yeah.
If the police were out of line, they could have called the sheriff. The sheriff could have went, you and your 3 deputies are under arrest. We're going to go work this out because we don't want you to burn the neighborhood down.
Right.
And, so they, and I think a lot of sheriffs understand it, and it's starting to catch a lot of traction in like Oregon and stuff where they're taking away the badges from the park rangers and stuff. But I think it would, rather than set up a group, like the Minutemen or something, just have an outline where people could sit there and go, well, I know old Bob over here that's, the county attorney.
Yeah.
And we're all friends. We have lunch and play golf or race cars together. The sheriff's deputies, I need to know they'll have my back.
Right.
And here's what we're going to do. Now that may seem premeditated, but trust me, the federal government is very premeditated too.
About everything.
Yeah. So, then you create a little scenario where the fishies are going to bite. The city council's going to flip out, planning, zoning, the Forest Service, whatever. Just like when we had that fire, up there on the mountain. And then they wouldn't let them come in and repair the water line that goes to Tombstone.
Yeah.
And Tombstone didn't have water for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
It was a real shortage. Now, see, the sheriff at the time could have just stepped in and said, Forest Service, sorry, but this is still state land. These easements and right-of-ways were carved out before this was even a state. We're going to fix that water line, and we'll try to take care of the little spotted owls and everything. But if you get in our way, my deputies are going to arrest all of you EPA people.
Right.
And they could have fixed it. And see,
Right.
that would have been a massive victory.
Yeah.
For states' rights and private property rights.
Right. Exactly.
And so they need to be aware that we can start chipping away. It's like the sculpture says, I didn't carve a beautiful statue. I just took everything away that didn't look like what I was making.
Right.
And we need to make this country, the way it used to be. So
Right.
we have to chip all these barnacles off the hull. And I think
well, we need to start by chipping off Barnacle Nancy and Barnacle Chuck.
Barnacle Bob, basically. Yeah, no kidding. It's like SpongeBob. What's that one character, Barnacle somebody or something?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I know. I know what you're talking. Yeah.
But it's not that hard. It's just, I think it's just putting together people that want something good. You're not breaking the law.
No,
You're not inciting a stupid riot.
It's your Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia acting within the confines of the law.
Yeah,
being necessary to the security of a free state.
Right. So what would be breaking the law if I just decided to really go kick the hornet's nest, get the city to come over here, have the sheriff step in, explain to them their authority and what isn't their authority,
right,
and win that battle? I've done nothing illegal.
Right.
It's not like I'm asking the chief of police to take a payoff so I can sell crack cocaine at the elementary school. Right. This is all legal operations.
Yes.
That you need someone to have your six. I mean, quite literally.
Yeah.
And our enemies are the media, and more on the federal level, really. States don't really try to destroy their constituents too much.
Right.
So I think winning these little battles would help our politicians realize it's like, oh, you know what? We have more authority than we thought, because we've been listening to Washington liars for so many years.
Oh, yeah, man.
And I think it would be a good thing, but I don't know how to roll it out yet, other than just put together a 5-10 point plan and say, here, if you follow this wherever you live, if you have a sheriff that you can work with, you could even do it with the chief of police that wasn't a corrupt jerk.
Right.
And just, they don't have to be big battles. It's not the
little
war.
Fires. Little fires lead to putting out the big ones.
Yeah. Every battle leads to a victory in the war, and so I think it would be good. I need your input, and John and a few people to go, here's what we maybe should do, what targets we should, lock in on.
Right.
To get the best out of this, thing. But I'm going to push it. I think it's a good idea. And I
think it's a great idea, man.
Without breaking the law, we actually accomplish something, because you got to use it against them.
Well, and we gotta get others to get involved as well. See, Let me tell you something, Mark. That is my experience. A lot of people want to play armchair quarterback. When I was going to run, I went and I consoled. I did an exploratory, and I, consoled with people, and, oh yeah, we got your back. Oh yeah. And everybody's pushing you from behind, and then you step out and do it. And then, all the support from behind are all of a sudden not there.
Yeah. You go out on stage and you turn around and they shut the curtain and they're all hiding back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giving you a thumbs up, from a mile away.
We found that out, with the red light thing. Everybody hated them. Everybody wanted them gone. And it was only actually a few of us that actually stepped up and did something to get something done about it,
Right. Yeah. And look at the change it made,
Yeah.
And, meanwhile, Ron Paul's been arguing with that, and the 10th Amendment Center on surveillance and these cameras and stuff. I always fought him in my own way by just throwing the ticket out.
Yeah.
Because, if nobody served me a ticket, I didn't get it.
Right.
And people forget, that it's like, if you're not served, it didn't happen.
Right. They can't prove you got it in the mail.
Yeah. And if they want their damn money so much, send someone to my door to hand it to me, a process server.
Yeah.
At least do your job. No, it was more like a lottery. They just send them out, and out of maybe 9 out of 10 would pay up, and they're like, oh, look, free money. So I'm glad they're gone. I hate unconstitutional things like that.
Yeah, me too. They're totally unconstitutional.
Yeah. Well, see, and you guys fought it. Yeah. And you're right. My brother's gotten into some pretty big battles with the IRS in his life, and he was part of a big group and paid all this money, and, oh, we got your back. We'll be there with you in court. Sure enough, when he's sitting there in front of the judge, nobody was behind him. typical cowards.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, granted, we do get worked up on things, and then when it really comes down to, you know, getting into the line of fire, that's when we evaluate whether our decision was maybe made on the right circumstances.
Yeah.
And people don't really think about decisions they're making, and so you do got to pick your battles and then be committed to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we know how commitments are in today's world. You know, people can't even commit to the fact if they're a boy or a girl.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, I don't know. I'm undecided.
I mean, look, you've got two races, two sexes, not two races, two sexes.
Yeah.
Male and female. You're either male or you're female.
Right.
That's it. This whole thing about, I'm confused and I don't know what I'm doing. And come on, man.
Really?
Come on.
Just check your junk once in a while. That'll answer everything for you. You know, I could see being confused. Do you like vanilla or chocolate ice cream? That's a pretty simple choice, but, you know, I got to try both. But some things like, do I have blue eyes? Well, that's pretty easy to figure out. I just look in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, now I might identify with somebody with black hair and dark eyes. So I'm Elvis Presley, but I'm not. You know, it's just so.
Yeah. It just, that whole thing. Look, all right, here we go.
Boom.
Got about 2 minutes to do this. So here's my thing. They always say that it's such a natural thing. It's natural to be attracted to the other sex. Okay. Why is it that one of the two always assumes the role of the opposite sex?
Yeah. Yeah, I never did get that. Why does she dress like a guy when she hates guys? Or
Well,
vice versa.
not just that, but I mean, okay, two males are attracted to each other. One assumes the role of the female.
Yeah. So even they understand on a molecular level, I guess.
I mean, granted, and I know there's probably someone, I know we're probably going to get feedback from this. But I mean, it is what it is, man. Granted, you know, well, we don't do that. Well, I've seen, you know, even the macho of the machos with the little lays around their shoulders and all this other stuff. Why must you assume the role of the opposite sex if it's so natural to be two males or two females attracted together? Listen, we got to take a break, man. We're not done. We'll be back after this. Don't go away.
We are not done.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Black Metal Firearms are a couple guys I know personally and friends of mine that put together some great accessories for all your firearms needs. Everything that I've seen them do is just top notch and very nice looking. BlackMetalFirearms.com. Check them out. I think you'll be glad you did. Go to Facebook, Black Metal Firearms. They got a great page there too. Learn more about the workmanship and the craftsmanship they put into every accessory and every build they do.
Talking the issues and taking the hit. Here they are, the two crazy guys.
And welcome back. Before the break, boy, we opened up a can of worms before the break, didn't we, Mark?
Yeah, I guess, thinking that figuring out your sexual identity is easy probably freaks a lot of people out because.
Well, the thing here, the thing that really, oh man, I'm going to get in trouble for this, man. So homosexuals make up what, about 3% of the population, thereabouts.
Right.
And the thing is, look, you want to do what you want to do, go do what you want to do, but don't force it down my throat.
Right.
Okay. And that's where we're at right now is they want to force the agenda on everybody.
Right.
And as if to say that they don't get equal treatment. They don't get, they don't have equal rights. Last time I checked, the Bill of Rights didn't say male or female anywhere in them.
No. And actually they have all the rights, and their biggest beef was legal issues. Like, well, they couldn't get married or they couldn't, go into the hospital because they were two gay men and the hospital wouldn't recognize it as a family member or a spouse. Well, that is because of government regulation on insurance. Had nothing to do with what I care. If I owned a hospital and somebody comes in, he goes, he's my gay partner. It's like, oh yeah, go on in there and see him. If it makes him feel better, he might heal better, So most of their big beef was with the regulations that the government puts on banks, insurance companies, hospitals. But they did have all the rights. And I think when they got all pissy one time when Ev Meekum was the governor, he said, well, as a gay community, you have no rights in certain areas like, hospitals and marriage and stuff. He goes, if you want them, go out and create them. And,
right.
And they got mad at Ev Meekum for just saying, yeah, you don't have any shoes on, go buy a pair of shoes. Which was about as simple as what he was saying. But, it really does go back to, people having a hard time committing to things and watching your back. And, everybody wants to just float with the wind. And I guess the wind is blowing that way.
Well, the thing is, and, nobody is saying nobody doesn't have rights. I mean, all right. So one of the things that they had to do was they had to pass special language, saying, basically putting in what is it? I have a hard time with this. LBGTQ.
Right.
All right. But they wanted that specifically put in there when the wording already covered everybody, but they had to have that wording put in. By the way, what the hell is Q?
I think that's queer, which I thought was covered by all the other ones. Not to be sarcastic, but right.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess once they threw that in there, you can't say as
line.
Queer as a $3 bill because now you've violated the law.
Here's the bottom line. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you do what you do.
Right.
Do not force your belief system upon me.
Right. Same as religion, politics.
All of it.
Just, your rights end where mine begin. keep it that separation, and it should be fine.
Yeah.
But no, they don't want to. They want to make a deal out of it, so then they can get, I guess, funding.
Well, yeah, they're just
Raise
all
awareness.
it is it's screaming from the rooftops, and they want special treatment. They want to be all right. Boy Scouts of America.
Oh my God! Don't even talk to me about that.
Boy Scouts of America was one of the last standing monuments, if you will, to the honor system, to right from wrong, to learning to be creative. And so they took that over. Well, you gotta let them accept gays. They fought it in the beginning, but they lost.
Right.
And the gays went in, and then the women, the girls. We have to let girls in the Boy Scouts. So then the girls went into the Boy Scouts, and then the girls created an all-girl only Boy Scout troop.
Yeah, well, so it was the word boy, girl. But
Well,
then
the point I'm getting at is, where does this stop? Where does it end? Where does all of this stuff stop?
it doesn't.
I mean, look, you've got people out there talking about now they want to marry their dogs. And I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you at all, Mark. I'm going to try to see if I can find this so that you can put it on the website over at twocrazyguys.com. It's a video of this guy that is in love with his car, literally in sexual fantasizing love with his car.
Which would mean that he probably needs counseling.
Kissing on it, loving on it, making love to his car. Where does it stop, man?
Obviously not in his garage.
I'm going to find it to you, and I want you to put it over there on twocrazyguys.com.
Well, yeah, just shoot me that, because that's just funny.
Yeah.
Funny, ha funny. Well, the Boy
But the
Scouts.
thing is, he's not kidding around. It's real.
Yeah, it's real theater.
I
The
guess.
thing with like a lot of our audience in Utah are probably heavily invested. The Mormon Church was heavily invested into the Boy Scouts until this last fiasco.
Yeah.
And they've walked away from it too, because
It's
like
sad.
you said, it was the last real organization for young men and Girl Scouts for young women to become self-reliant, have some values and their oath and all that, or pledge. They just destroyed that. So,
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to figure out. They had Girl Scouts. What the hell did they want taken over the Boy Scouts?
well,
It was just a mile marker so that they could say they did it.
I think what it was, which is the stupidest thing, from what I've heard, the Girl Scouts did not have a program to become Eagle Scouts.
Oh.
Not that there's not female eagles, right? I mean, if we're talking about birds, there are female birds also.
Yes.
So then they said that was discrimination. Instead of just starting a Girl Scout, Eagle Scout program,
Let's take the Boy Scouts.
let's literally throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, and see, understand too that, the original core of the Boy Scouts was against all of that. It was against all of that, I guess homosexuality or whatever you want to, LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And so I guess by taking over the Boy Scouts and getting rid of that core system,
Right.
they can just continue to push their agenda farther and farther and farther.
Right. And see, I like the fact that a lot of the churches have just walked away from the scouting program altogether.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. If you destroy the Constitution, we revert back to 50 states. If you destroy the founding principles and documents of the Boy Scouts, then it ceases to exist.
Right.
And the Boy Scouts should have just folded their tents up and said, that's the end of the Boy Scout organization.
We're done.
We're done. because you've destroyed the foundation we were setting on, with your whiny ass crap.
Yeah.
Because there was Girl Scouts, there was,
Cub Scouts.
Yeah. And it was all there because boys need to be raised differently than girls.
Yes.
Unless you're screwed up in the head. But, boys are different. We go out and seek out trouble and
we
adventure.
Like to kill things.
Yeah, we like to blow up things, with firecrackers and stuff. Where girls in Girl Scouts might not want to do that. That's fine. If they want to, buy some firecrackers. But no, they wanted to homogenize the raising of our children.
Exactly.
Where you don't have boys. I bought my grandkids a book, well, their mom, how to raise a boy. And it's just full of little projects like that. It's just boys get off on.
Yeah.
That girls don't.
Right.
And it's okay. Does that make girls weaker? No. It just makes them different, which is why we date girls and marry them.
Right.
Because they're different in a very cool way.
Yes.
So
very, very cool, I might say.
Yeah. So when you really look at Bible scripture or any of that,
chicks are just cool, man.
Chicks are just awesome. I mean, there's so many things we could say that we like about them, but we'd probably be rated R then. They smell better too. It's just. I mean, we're just disgusting, smelly creatures.
Right. But see, they had to infiltrate that last stand. That was the last standing stronghold, and they had to infiltrate it and destroy it.
Right. Like the Borg or Bork or whatever they are on Star Trek. It's just like homogenation, assimilation, everything's the same. Well, where's the creativity? So, biblically speaking, this is pretty much close to the end when you can't even say, I'm a boy. Yeah. It's really gotten messed up. I'm waiting for the second coming just any moment because I'm kind of sick of this place anyway. But
I mean, it's crazy. In fact, biblical scripture does say that so will be the days of Noah, as will be because they were crazy then.
Yeah.
They were running rampant with all kinds of diseases and sickness, and they were, homosexuality was running rampant and all that other stuff, man.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Eventually God has to sit there and go, okay.
That's enough.
Yeah. No, we need to start over again. And to me, the principle is to just screw up and then try to be a good person. So I don't know if his time frame is like mine, because I would have nuked this planet years ago.
Well,
if I was in charge. But I think you're right. When they destroyed something as pure and simple as the Boy Scouts, that was just vindictive.
Yeah, that's all it was.
There's no positive came from when it was done. You tear down a house to build a new one. You don't just tear it down to go, ha ha ha, look at that.
And look at that. We're out of time. The producer's telling me it's time to end it. So we have come to another end.
We got to fire that guy.
Hey, folks, thanks for listening. By the way, happy Father's Day to all of you dads out there. And have a good weekend. We will catch you next time right here on The Two Crazy Guys on KYAH 540 AM. And remember, log on to www.twocrazyguys.com.
Bye-bye. Love y'all.
Thanks for tuning in. Catch them next time as they dig into the issues. The Two Crazy Guys. Log on to the website at www.contraradionetwork.com.